I was murdered for teaching people how to think. If that shocks you, stay with me, because the truth is, myth is still doing the killing, sometimes softly, sometimes with applause, and often with our permission. I'm Hypatia of Alexandria. I taught mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy in a city that, at its best, believed learning was a public virtue. I walked to my lectures alone. I welcomed students from every creed and quarrel. I advised magistrates, and I insisted on one simple discipline: think clearly, not what to think. How? If you've ever drawn a straight line and felt that satisfying click, you already know what I mean. Truth has a texture. Begin with definitions. Show your steps. Steelman the other side by offering their best argument before you answer it. Treat clarity as a kindness. Treat honesty as a habit. That was my work. That was my joy. And then the season changed. Politics put on a halo. Rumor dressed itself as righteousness. Questions, our way forward, began to look like threats. If you want the sources, they exist. Socrates, Scholasticus, John of Nicaea. The details argue, history often does, but the pattern is painfully familiar. Zeal needed a villain, and so a teacher became a witch. One afternoon, on an ordinary street, they stopped my chariot. They pulled me away. I won't dwell on the brutality. You already know what cruelty looks like. Please understand what it meant. It wasn't my body, not really. They wanted to erase. It was philosophy as a public life. It was the idea that anyone, especially a woman, might walk the city and invite minds to ask why. That day, myth won cleanly. Reason went underground. For a long time, the Mediterranean that had argued so beautifully and so fiercely dimmed, libraries thinned, classrooms quieted. Where proofs once stood, metaphors, enforced by power, took their place. I am not against faith, but any faith, any ideology, any party that forbids questions begins to behave like a weapon. Light did return, through monasteries, through translators, through universities, but it flickered. The old wind kept blowing. Don't ask, don't doubt, don't define. And now, upon my return to see how you are all doing, thanks to the adventure team, I have seen that in modern costumes, tribes, brands, hashtags, even lab coats, myth still likes to rule. The symbols have changed. Some, but the strategy hasn't. Today, slogans are sanctified and questions punished. What did we lose in that long winter? Not just facts. We lost form. We lost the gentle geometry of honesty, where you define your terms before you argue. We lost the discipline of evidence, where data informs, but reason judges. We lost the ethics of thought, where you make your opponent's case stronger before you critique it. And we lost courage, the quiet, necessary courage to say, I don't know yet, and I changed my mind. Let me give you something simple you can carry, the 3-line trial. The next time a headline shouts, a study says, or a friend insists, everyone knows, try this. First, the claim. What exactly is being said? Define the terms. No fog. Second, the argument. How do the premises lead to that conclusion? Show the steps. Third, the value. What human good is at stake? Who benefits? And who might be hurt? If any line is blank, you don't have knowledge yet. You have noise. And it's all right to say, I don't know. That sentence is a door, not a defeat. You cannot flay a proof. That's why power fears them. Proofs don't bow. They ask everyone, kings and crowds alike, to show their work. When we stop asking for the work, myth moves back in. You can recognize myth's method. It's tidy. First, simplify. Divide the world into saints and sinners. Second, sanctify. Wrap the story in holiness, religion, ideology, the nation, the science. Third, intimidate. Make dissent costly. shame, exile, demonetize, deplatform, excommunicate. The vocabulary changes, the function does not. Once questions are punished, error becomes immortal. So, how do we answer? Kindly, firmly, every day. We rebuild sanctuaries of inquiry, classrooms, labs, councils, studios, dinner tables, places where disagreement is safe and clarity is praised. Treat them like libraries in a storm. Inside those spaces, practice better manners of mind. Say your definitions out loud. Offer the strongest version of the view you oppose. Separate the person from the proposition. Reward public corrections. When someone says, "I've changed my mind," applaud them. Make it feel like dignity, not defeat. Curate your inputs with care. Choose 3 streams, one that sharpens you, one that challenges you, one that delights you. Every day, read one of each, then write a short paragraph that lets them talk to each other. That's how wisdom forms, not by collecting more links, but by weaving them into meaning. Keep a few rescue phrases ready at all times. Let's define our terms. Walk me through the steps. What's the trade-off? They are small, but they are anchors, turning a storm of feelings into a real conversation. And yes, I believe in rational idealism. Rational, because claims must stand trial before reason and evidence. Idealist, because mind and meaning and value are real, not waste heat from machinery. Philosophy sets our aim, science tests our path, mathematics tunes our attention toward proportion and harmony. Together, they build a civilization that knows where it's going, how to get there, and how to stay true on the way. Lose that union, and you get cleverness without conscience. We learn how to build almost anything, and forget to ask whether we should. Then fear or profit chooses for us, and calls itself inevitable. That is how we end with engines without ethics, algorithms without accountability, and weapons waiting for a hand. Let me show you a day that resists all of that. In the morning, before the world gets loud, read a paragraph that stretches you. Define one term precisely. Teach your mind that clarity is possible. Then, at your work or school, run one loud claim through the 3-line trial. If you can't complete the lines, don't force yes or no. Say, "I'm still thinking." That little pause protects you from manipulation. Next, in your conversations, try gentle steelmanning. Let me make your point as I understand it. Tell me where I'm missing you. Watch the tone change, tempers soften, ideas sharpen. Finally, at night, give yourself 3 quiet minutes. What did I love today? Comfort or the good? Where did fear overrule my reason? What one small correction will I make tomorrow? Write it down. Don't aim for drama. Aim for continuity. Small, steady corrections change people and turn cultures. Is any of this anti-faith? No. Faith that fears questions becomes fanaticism. Faith that welcomes questions becomes friendship. Good questions are borderless. That's how you know a community is healthy. And when someone says, the science says, be kind and exacting, ask for the function. What is the input? What is the output? What law connects them? If the answer is a feeling, a tribe, or a brand, you're not hearing science, you're hearing a story in a lab coat. My story is very old and very current. When zeal needs a villain, teachers become witches. When fear wants a shortcut, questions become crimes. When power wants permission, myths become law. That happened in Alexandria. It happens anywhere. Slogans outrun reasons. I was not a witch. I was a teacher. I counted stars. I cared for souls. My death marked a moment when a city let myth tear at the mind. Mythos won. Rationalism retreated. But methods do not die. Proofs do not bleed. Questions cannot be burned. They wait inside you, very patiently, until you pick them up again. So choose differently now. Let philosophy set our aims toward truth, justice, and beauty. Let mathematics tune our habits toward clarity, proportion, and harmony. Let science test our means with humility, transparency, and courage. And let our institutions protect dissent, so the next woman who teaches in public doesn't have to be brave to be safe. Keep a small lamp lit in your own life. Ask one brave question each day. Define one term precisely. Give one opponent their best case before you disagree. Change your mind when the reasons ask you to, and celebrate that change in others. Make courage contagious. Let it outrun fear. Please don't let myth kill minds again, especially not your own while you live. Share this with someone who loves the truth and with someone who fears it. Save the 3-line trial for the next noisy headline. And tomorrow morning, before the world begins, draw a straight line. Feel that quiet click of recognition. Start there. Keep the lamp of reason lit. That is how dawn begins. Finally, subscribe to this channel, a most excellent adventure, where historical figures are brought back for a glimpse of your time and a chance to share their thoughts for your benefit. Thank you.